1941, Pearl Harbor, Hickam, Bellows, Haleiwa, all of the places where American men and women were stationed. 386 aircraft from the Akagi, Kaga, Hiryu, Soryu, Shokaku, and Shikoku. The time, 7:55 in the morning. The place, Pearl Harbor, and you are there. The Mitsubishi 86M0, the Nakajima B5N8, and the Ayachi D38 dive bomber have started an invasion of Americans' island bases on the island of Oahu. Suddenly, or without warning, you can smell the smoke as it comes off of the bombs. You can feel the concussion, and our men were totally unprepared for what happened. That December the 7th morning, 1941. America had very little fighter aircraft. The P-40 Warhawk, the B-22 pea shooter, and some other antiquated airplanes flying against what were some of the highest powered, most maneuverable aircraft in the Pacific Theater at that time. The Mitsubishi 86M, over 500 mile an hour capability, a very light, long-range airplane with very skilled pilots. They'd already been fighting in Indochina by the time they invaded our forts at Hickam Field. Ford Harbor, the Nakajima B5N gate, a specially designed torpedo between the wheel wells. This torpedo, ladies and gentlemen, at Admiral Yamamoto's insistence, was designed to run shallow in the water at Pearl Harbor. It was only about 50 foot deep, and it had to come across the top of the submarine nets. We had fair warning that this was going to happen. Indeed, at 2 o'clock in the morning, a submarine was sighted by the United States battleship, the Ward. They dropped up charges on it, sinking that ship. It was just recently found about 3 years ago, just outside the entrance to Pearl Harbor. 2 young servicemen, Lieutenants Kim Taylor and George Welch, managed to get their P-40s off the field at Haleiwa. Those 2 aircraft managed to shoot down 5 airplanes of the invading forces on that December the 7th morning, 1941. Watch as the Ayachi D38 dive bomber streaks up into the sky. It'll roll up on its left wingtip, come down towards the bay there at Hickam Field, and Pearl Harbor drops a 500-pound bomb on top of the United States battleship, the Arizona. Exploded, burst into flame with such force that great ship took over 1,100 Americans, fine young sailors, to a watery grave. They sleep there today. The Nevada, the only ship in the harbor that had steam up in the boilers. Was able to get her moving. They were starting to move towards the outlet going out of Pearl Harbor out into the Pacific Ocean. But the Japanese were all over invasion started about 2 hours later. It came in. But Admiral Montgomery made a grievous error because the plan had for him to come in a third time on the bases at Pearl Harbor. As a result of him not doing that, all of our submarines were left intact. All of our fuel supplies were left intact. And many of our bases still had places that we could fly from. But still, 2,400 died at Pearl Harbor on December the 7th, 1941. Listen to our president, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, as he went before Congress the next morning.
December 7th, 1941. A date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. The attack yesterday on the Hawaiian Islands has caused severe damage to American naval and military forces. I regret to tell you that very many American lives have been lost. With confidence in our armed forces, and the determination of our people, we will gain the inevitable triumph, so help us God.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that America did gain that inevitable triumph. It was 4 long years later, and there was millions of men died throughout the world, men and women. Admiral Yamamoto was told we had had a great success. Admiral Yamamoto said, we've done nothing more than to awaken a sleeping giant and fill them with a great resolve. America was that sleeping giant because as America fought throughout Europe and into the Pacific, and we sent the B-25s into Japan in May of the following year, trying to assuage the grief of America. Listen to the great King Smith sing about our nation. After December the 7th, 1941, young boys with their wagons were going through the neighborhoods. They were picking up scrap metal that could be built into ammunition. Rosie became a riveter right here at Maxwell Air Force Base. This great facility has been in constant use since World War II. But it was the young men and women who wore the uniform of this great nation and carried our flag into battle that allows us to be the greatest free nation in the world. Do you believe that, Montgomery, Alabama? I want you to say hello to any young man or woman in uniform today and tell them how much you appreciate what they do for us. America is the greatest nation in the world, and it's because of the young servicemen and women who do our bidding throughout the world that allows us to be that way. Ladies and gentlemen, as we collect the airplanes, these aircraft were all built for the movie Tora, 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 1967 by 20th Century Fox. We've had them ever since 1972. The P-40 Warhawk is just one of 2 P-40s that we have available to us to fly with the team. Mark Allen is flying today, pulls the nose of the airplane up. That has an Allison 12-cylinder V12 engine of about 1,200 horsepower. Mark showing you the capabilities. And think about that being one of the first fighters that America's young men, pilots, would have gotten a hold of. Tomorrow we're going to show you aerobatics in a T6 would have been the primary, one of the advanced trainers that our pilots would have had use for. The team is forming up down on the right-hand side. On behalf of the entire commemorative Air Force, with over 50 units and squadrons throughout the world, we are proud to have the opportunity to come be at Maxwell Air Force Base. I understand this is your first air show in almost 10 years, and we're delighted to be part of that. All of the men flying for us at the commemorative Air Force, all of them are civilian pilots. They're all volunteers. None of us get paid anything for doing this show, but it's a wonderful opportunity to come out and tell a large crowd like this that there are still those who believe in America and what America stands for, and how we want you to understand the importance. You're going to see your United States Air Force Thunderbirds a little bit later this afternoon. And we're delighted to have the opportunity to fly in the same airspace as them. Mark Allen is in the P-40. Mike Burke is in 115. Jim Ryan is in 113. Buddy Cooksey is flying 111. Dan Reeves in 114. Craig Houtine is in 112. Taylor Stevenson is in Gate 310. Mark Todd is in valve 257. Mike Hastings is in valve 356. And out across the pyrotechnic, or out across the field, is our pyrotechnics crew, led by Gordon Webb. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Tora, Tora, Tora! God bless you, Montgomery, Alabama. Thank you for letting us participate in the Maxwell Air Force Base Air Show today.